Hey there, so we are at the LDEQ hearing for Waterford 5 and 6. This is a permit hearing for two natural gas powered power plants that are going to be in the Killona area of St. Charles Parish. And the majority of this energy is going up north to Richland Parish for the Meta AI data center. So we are residents of St. Charles Parish. We are customers of Entergy. We don't have a choice. They are a monopoly down here. So this is the proceedings of the LDEQ meeting because, to my knowledge, there isn't a publicly available official recording of these meetings. And you guys can see, not a lot of people were able to make it. So I want as many people who are interested to be able to view this meeting at a later date.
Good evening. Let the record reflect that the time is 6 p.m. on Thursday, June 25th, 2026. My name is Shorell, and I'll be serving as the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality's hearing officer this evening. This hearing is scheduled to accept public comments in a proposed Part 70 air operating permit, prevention of significant deterioration PSD permit, acid rain permit, and the associated environmental assessment EAS for Entergy Louisiana LLC and Waterford Advanced Power Station WAPS units 5 and 6. Agency interest number 248424. Permit numbers 0520-00190- fee 0 PSD-LA-865 and 0520-00190-IV0 and activity tracking numbers PER 202 50001, PER 202 50002, and PER 202 50003. The facility is located at 17705 River Road, Killona, St. Charles Parish. Entergy Louisiana LLC has requested the necessary Part 70 air operating permit, initial acid rain permit, and PSD permit to construct and operate the WAPS units 5 and 6. The WAPS units 5 and 6 will consist of two new natural gas-fired 1x1 combined cycle combustion turbine power lines. Each new unit will be able to provide 750 megawatts of electrical net power. The WAPS will also have other ancillary sources of air contaminants. This includes, but is not limited to, emissions from two natural gas-fired dew point heaters, two diesel-fired emergency internal combustion engines, two diesel-fired fire water pumps, two 4,150-gallon diesel fuel tanks, two 500-gallon diesel fuel tanks, four 400-gallon natural gas condensate tanks, lube oil vents, diesel, natural gas, and ammonia fugitive emissions, and maintenance, startup, and shutdown activities. This permit was processed as an expedited permit in accordance with LAC 33:I, Chapter 18. This hearing is not being conducted in a question and answer format. I'll say that again. This hearing is not being conducted in a question and answer format. Please remember that the purpose of this public hearing is for the LDEQ to receive your comments concerning the proposed permits. Also, please be aware that the hearing officer and the staff and the public participation group are not the decision makers on these proposed permits. My role as the hearing officer is to conduct this public hearing and accept comments regarding proposed permits for the LDEQ. This hearing is to provide all individuals the chance to be heard regardless of their position on the proposed permits. Courteous behavior is expected of everyone at all times. You may speak in support of the proposed project, in opposition to the proposed project, or simply to provide additional information. All interested parties will be given a reasonable opportunity to comment unless testimony is not related to the purpose of this hearing. All comments heard and transcribed during this hearing and all written comments received during the comment period will be evaluated and addressed in the LDEQ's written response to public comments. A public notice advertising this public hearing and request from public comment and the proposed permits and the EAS was published on the LDEQ public notice webpage on Tuesday, May 26, 2026. Copies of the proposed permits and EAS are available for inspection and review at the LDEQ Public Reference Center, 602 North 5th Street, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Viewing hours are 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, except holidays. Additional copies are also available for review at the St. Charles Parish Library, Hahnville branch, located at 14996 River Road, Suite A, Hahnville, Louisiana, 70057. The available information can be accessed electronically on the Electronic Document Management System, EDMS, on the LDEQ public website at www.deq.louisiana.gov. In addition, on Tuesday, May 26, 2026, copies of the public notice were mailed and emailed to individuals who have requested to be placed in a hard copy, and the email mailing list maintained by the LDEQ Office of Environmental Services. In accordance with Louisiana Administrative Code, Title 33, Part 3, Section 531.A.3.c, comments received by 4:30 p.m. Friday, June 26, 2026 will be considered timely received comments. All comments heard and transcribed during this hearing and all timely received comments shall be retained by the LDEQ and considered prior to reaching your final decision. Written comments may be submitted online on the public notice webpage, www.deq.louisiana.gov/public-notices. Mailed to the LDEQ, the Public Participation Group, P.O. Box 4323, Baton Rouge, Louisiana 70821, or submitting their personal delivery or email at deq.publicnotices@la.gov. Pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statutes 30:2050.23A2, notice of the final decision must be given to commenters by ordinary mail. Therefore, commenters wishing to receive notice of the final decision must include a complete mailing address in the submitting copies. Notice of the final decision will be mailed to those who made timely comments and provided a complete mailing address to those who requested to be notified of the final decision and to the applicant. Louisiana Revised Statutes 30:2017 requires that LDEQ proceed in the following speaking order. Speaking order is determined based on the information provided on your speaker registration form and is based on the parish of residence, of the parish of employment, or at the discretion of the hearing officer, whether the speaker is a public official. If you did not provide your residence or work information on the speaker registration form, you still will be able to speak. However, you will speak last. The department shall provide up to 30 minutes to the applicant for an introductory presentation. Afterwards, preference for speaking up to 1 hour is given as follows. First, up to 1 hour to those citizens who live within a 2-mile radius of the location of proposed project. Second, up to 1 hour to those citizens who work within a 2-mile radius of the location of the proposed project. Third, up to 1 hour to those citizens who live within the parish of the location of the proposed project. Thereafter, each hour of the hearing shall alternate between those who are in support with the proposed projects and those who are opposed. Pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statutes 30:2017 B3, the hearing officer may give preference to a public official to speak at any time during the hearing. However, any time limit set for citizen testimony shall also apply to public officials. An initial time limit of 4 minutes will be provided to each speaker. However, if you need additional time, you may speak again once everyone has had an opportunity to speak and provide comments. When you have 1 minute remaining, I will hold up this sign. This hearing will remain open for a minimum of 1 hour to allow any late arriving people an opportunity to speak. This hearing is being transcribed. Therefore, I'll ask that each speaker begin by stating for the record their name, address, and any organization he or she may represent. I'll also ask that the speakers remain facing towards me while speaking, so that the court reporter may accurately capture your comments. I would like to remind you to please silence your cell phones. Thank you. At this time, I would like to ask the applicant's representative to come forward and make you their introductory presentation. Mr. Tim Burbach.
It's in there.
I think I got it. Good evening. My name is Tim Burbach. I'm the Director of Capital Projects for Entergy in Louisiana. And I'm extremely proud to have my team here with me today to discuss the Waterford Advanced Power Station Units 5 and 6 project and the benefits it will bring to this community. I'd like to thank LDEQ for hosting this public hearing, St. Charles Parish for the use of the community center, and the public for your attendance tonight and interest in this project and the draft air permit. The proposed debates. Waterford Advanced Power Station is a new electric generating facility to be located in Killona, near the existing Waterford generating pit. This project will consist of 2 highly efficient natural gas-fired combustion turbine generators, each equipped with a heat recovery system generating in it, and the steams are on. Each of these combined sideway units will produce an average output approximately 750 megawatts. This project will ensure that Southeast Louisiana, this community, and the rest of Louisiana will have a reliable and stable source of electricity to support the residential and industrial low-growth parish. The air permit application we're discussing tonight describes the new units, including the emission control technology, the air-cooled condenser unit that is proposed to minimize air emissions and water used by a power station. In addition, this project will produce significant economic growth and jobs for the community. This project provides opportunities in many declining positions, both temporary and permanent, and provide billions of dollars in regional and statewide economic benefits. Upon the start operation, the project will hold various permits as part of our state and federal environmental laws. Entergy Louisiana has engaged qualified environmental experts to review and ensure the emissions and operating profile of the power station can operate safely and in compliance with state and federal regulations. Entergy is thoroughly committed to ensuring that all of its facilities operate in accordance with environmental regulations and serving communities in which we operate. This commitment enables Entergy to provide safe, reliable, and cost-effective power for its customers. Entergy filed this air permit application with the LDEQ on September 8, 2025. The application proposes using best available control technology to minimize the amount of air emissions from the facility. These controls include selective catalytic production to reduce nitrogen oxide emissions, oxidation panels to reduce carbon monoxide emissions, and the use of natural gas to minimize particulate and sulfur oxide emissions. This facility will also utilize a cooling technology which has no air emissions. The cooling technology is known as an air-cooled condenser, which is similar to the concept of radiator, where the heat is transferred to the air instead of being transferred to the water. The LDEQ has determined that the air emissions from this proposed project will have no adverse impact on the air quality in the area. It will not cause nor contribute to any violations of the air quality standard. This application also includes an environmental assessment stage, which evaluates the avoidance of potential and real environmental impacts, which balances the social and economic benefits against environmental impact costs and mitigative measures. This evaluation shows that the proposed project location meet the intent of EAS by selecting a site which minimizes environmental impacts, as well as providing economic benefits to it. But again, I'd like to thank the LDEQ for arranging this hearing, St. Charles Parish for hosting this here tonight, and to you, members of the community, for taking your time to attend and express your views of the project. We look forward to expanding our presence here in St. Charles Parish and to continue to be a trusted, valued part in the community. Thank you, Urge.
That's your road average like to submit your dot views for the record.
Kiana.
Hey, road architect, it's a bit long. I would like to call on any public officials who wish to speak at this time. Seeing none. The first to speak will be those citizens who lived within a 2-mile radius of the location of the proposed project. Ms. Kiana, Washington. Please begin with your name and address for the record.
Good evening, my name is Kiana Washington. I live at 142 Schoolhouse Road in Killona. And I would like to talk about, well, piggyback off the guy just said who was up here before. He was talking about minimalizing a lot of the emissions, but on this paper that was read earlier, it is saying that it includes, but it's not limited to, emissions from 2 natural gas fire dew point heaters, 2 diesel, fired emergency internal combustion engines, and so forth and so on. So how does this paper say is that it is not limited to, and the guy is saying that they minimizing the emissions. It's kind of confusing. I'm not really what all this is about because it's like we are getting told one thing and other people come up. It's something else that's from what someone escaped. And also about the map on the map that's not the blue one, the one with the green on it. They had 7 streets missing that's in Killona. On here, y'all only have listed 3141 Killona, Coast Street, Adams Street. Well, within those streets, there is other streets. Killona runs from the River Road all the way to 3127. There are people that live as Julia Street. Julia is a street that is that runs across Killona and Adams that's back of the tracks. I live before the tracks. There are people that live way more closer than what I am to where this plant is going to be exposing us to all these other things that's supposed to be minimalized, but is not limited on the white people. I have a great aunt that stays further back of Killona Drive and Adams Street. That is Julia Street that runs across. I have cousins. I have another aunt that stays on Julia Street. There is somebody that stays behind them. And they're much closer than when I am living. And I'm trying to understand, I didn't see, I'm opposed to this permit. I don't think that we need any other clients around us. We have enough that's going on from Dow, what is the OxyChem, and other air products and all of that. We always been exposed to all kind of things all our lives, and I'm trying to figure out because Killona is filled with children now. We have new children in Killona, we have parents, grown-ups. So how the children of Killona is going to be our future if there is going to be any children from all of these toxins that y'all are putting into the air? These things causes cancer, stomach ulcers, headaches, migraines, dementia, Alzheimer's, and so forth, and with the health. So how our children, I have twin identical grandboys that plays outside. I don't know what y'all want to be putting into the air. And besides that, we just got a grant for air filters and water filters. So what is that? I can't think of the word that I want to say because my mind is all over the place, but what that's gonna be for, like when y'all polluting the air, gonna turn on our air thing, or when the water is damaged from all these emissions, we gotta drink from the thing that they gave us for the water filtration also. I'm just trying to make it make sense because right now it's not making any sense because this is just ridiculous. You don't need anything else built in Killona. We really don't. And I'm sure that a lot of people that haven't came to this meeting, they all agree with you. So I'm gonna let someone else speak, but I will be back up to speak again and finish what I was saying earlier. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Washington. Would you like to submit any documents for the record?
No, I don't hear.
Yes. Shorell Lockett? Shorell Lockett.
Shorell Lockett, 54 squads. And also, I know both are two of the same, man. The natural gas compressor blend that they're trying to build us safe, emission-free switch. Compressor blend that they're trying to build us safe, emission-free switch. It's time because it when you go to search at benzene, without and the risk of fire, the disposal, cancer, oil operation, and Burbach emissions, and never, they made them bang. They high pressure and then like that's what he says in the air. So they moved to petrochemical in the Entergy River. Travel to Waterford. And like problems always could say add to the gas. You know what combination borders. So that's our benefit for us. I know it will be a lot of economically for the parish or for us, for the community, how I is good for us all time. Yeah. Very science or artificial pay. The move off right. What's it was it not? Whether he still had peaceable. Oh, there's on outside in different other days. That's all to it. Plus unity say about jobs and opportunities. Job meeting over 6 months. And I'll pick one person as a employer for a couple. So they gonna go job up 50 PM. You know how to go out people off and they go to deep closest parish for this training and anything. They said it was we'll do something there. Yeah, we can. We'll make that. Yeah, need to go on finals. Scope some of the representative on energy for Burns Energy. And it's been since I stole her. 20.5 since we spoke to it. So anybody that came back since about it, plus pre-release that they have to get a while back with 12 things to donate. Energy said there was part and support community. Now one empty represent came by when everybody lost everything. Now sure but up it ended in so I'm why says he support he would be opposed to this felt somewhat that wasn't there before, which on now we know what's on home. Or like it shows that new plans stay this is 60 to 80 years and it shows that Curtis Gaffridge said it's from 540. They've been like to be this memo what's our operation, so all that he's been fit. And plus they say it's 30 permanent jobs and 750 and the rate jobs. I only use my community of kids support by their job. So I want to ask God they go away to the job.
Thank you, sir. Jeremy. All right. DJ, if you not the latest submit to the record. Big. The next group of speakers should be those who work within a 2-mile radius of the location of the proposed project. Seeing those, speaker forums for that group, Hahnville. The next group of speakers will be those who live within the parish of the location of the proposed project. Mr. Joseph Coco. Name and record for name and associate, please. Thank you.
Sure. My name is Zero Sissoko. I live at 40 Melrose Drive at Destrehan. My wife, who has Sjögren's syndrome, which are two conditions that are aggravated by air falling or air quality. I'll start with something that happened to me last year. I went to introduce of the house for these lights,
and I asked them directly, are Waterford 5 and 6
They built to power this AI data center. They told me no. The Department of Commerce Commission's Burbach U37425 approved Waterford 5 specifically to serve a single customer. Meta's AI data center in Richland Parish, 200 miles from here. Multiple routine executives looked me in the eye and told me the opposite of what their own findings say. I told them that because this whole permit asks you to trust after it is worth. So here's one little word it was worth. The environmental assessment found you error mentions meth, not watts. It says these plans are for South Louisiana. That is not true. You're being asked to recast when this is an application, but I2 Waterford 5 is really for, and then she's paying, and please give it keep paying for it. The 15 to 25 years left of its life after another 15-year deal runs out. Us. Now, look at what they did to it. This permit authorizes 5 million tons of the formaldehyde a year, 746 tons of toxic air pollution, and 240,000 big suppressors on the air. You call this a 100-year floodplain beside the river Luling with no flood analysis and no hurricane analysis. We all been through Ida, and they didn't even set that. And in Cancer Alley, what the United Nations called environmental racism, this allocation has no health risk assessment, no cumulative toxics analysis, and no environmental justice analysis. None. The word used for by family library is de minimis. There's nothing nimble by more sets. Upon submitting a written comment of documents and barriers, I asked his LDEQ to deny these permits as accurate, or send them back to me Entergy to do a real analysis. If a laptop fix, please don't take your word for Ari. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Would you like just to stop now?
Really, I do it to me.
Please, that's well.
Hello, Scott. I'm Hillburn. I live 40 miles drive in Destrehan, Louisiana. On the way, he was talking fast. I grew up on the west bank of St. Charles Parish and grew up in Luling. I spent my childhood going to Hahnville, Louisiana to visit my grandparents and later my aunt, and I spent my childhood going to his family cemetery in Taft to bring flowers to my grandfather's grave. I have some mind-fired life with migraines and asthma, and now I ended up with sugars. One of my concerns about this project is they are making 2 natural gas marine power plants in Killona, in a parish that is already inundated with heavy industry with employees. Our children can't read, our older people are developing lung cancer. I already lost my father to lung cancer, had a guy see my mother's sister lung cancer, and my mother, who's here tonight, has also had cancer. The burden that the citizens of this parish bear so that the select few can make millions of dollars in a lung care vote. They already cost me my livelihood, so with no further thought. And as someone who also works as a part educator, I frequently teach children across this parish. Sometimes I'm teaching you Bible, sometimes I'm teaching on the website, sometimes I'm teaching you Destrehan. And watching these young people suffer and trying to treat is a heartbreaking situation. I'm not comfortable with Entergy building 2 power plants, claiming it's to serve us, the citizens of St. Charles Parish, when it's unfair, when they cannot even be honest with us about who this power is actually meant to serve. A sense of liberation in northern Louisiana, or AI data center, that does even benefit the people of this parish. We're not going to see financial benefit, and add your bullish breaker, generative AI is already costly a substantial amount of income, so I'm not a fan of that to begin with. Why should we bear the environmental and health burden for a data center that isn't even in our parish? I am opposed to the building of these 2 power plants. I am opposed to us possibly footing the bill with this carriage is already suffering economic burdens on an individual level. And I hope LDEQ will really strongly consider the human impact, the community impact that projects like this have with a very limited return. Thank you.
Can you fix the mic?
Oh, I know.
Thank you, Mayor. Is there anything to this protest?
I hope that you submitting a comment later. I'll see your mind base.
Yeah, it's just much better than that.
Miss Denise? Oh. Yes, sir. I didn't understand, Max. It's magic, sir.
Hello, my name is Denise Hillburn, and I'm at 592 Millard's Drive in Luling, Louisiana. I've lived in this parish for nearly 72 years, and my father's side of the family has been here. We're going on to 300 years. In a parish, in a district, and a state that is already heavily burdened with toxic emissions, replacing LNG turbine generators, never antiquated and inefficient, may be an unnecessary fuel. Adding more to accommodate the energy needs in North Louisiana's technological AI data center tech choices is an entirely different matter. We at St. Charles Parish and neighboring parishes will pay for that choice by drinking the toxins in our water and breathing in our air. My husband died from lung cancer in 2009. My sister died from lung cancer in 2022. I've had breast cancer in 2020 and lung cancer in 2024. And my brother has lung cancer today. I've been also suffering from asthma since 2024. Please do not approve these permits. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. At this time, I'll call on those citizens who are in support of the proposed permits, followed by those citizens who are opposed. Having no more registration forms for either group, I'll circle back to Ms. Washington if she would like to provide additional comment. And for the second, extended speaking time to 10 minutes. Ms. Washington, here.
Okay, piggybacking off of what these guys were here said, a geography that we have suffered many, many years from all kinds of cancer diseases and other health issues from these claims. I'm from Kiana. I lived in Killona most of all my life. My parents' parents, their parents, they actually came flight test. And they went to Killona because of the plant started, all the ladies started building McDowell and Oxychem and all the rest of the stuff in between. We have 2 graveyards, that's in Taft. We have Coco and Waterford. And you have Breedville Cemetery, which I have Oak Cemeteries, and I'm glad that they're in there. They didn't think of it anymore for those spirits, but back to the thing at hand. As this paper has been stated about a lot of these emissions that will be put into the air or in the water, but it's not limited to ecologists are very consistent on because it's not limited to anything. And like I said earlier, we was given, well, basically it was Killona residents a few weeks ago, these air and water phase systems. So what about the rest of the parishes? Not the rest of the parish yet. The other towns of St. Charles Parish that live within this 2-hour radius or even a little further out or across the river, well, is there going to be given anything? I don't understand because there's a lot of toxins that's going to be put into the air and into the water, and are we going to get a heads up? Our children want to get a heads up? Our children play outside all day long. You don't know what's going on at these quaints or anything. We'll be gonna give an airbags next. I don't know. We all is opposed to it. I'm speaking for everybody in Killona that is not here or Hahnville or anywhere else. We are opposed to this. We don't need anything else in Killona. We are small town. We'll lose everybody down there. And it is gonna make sense to keep on expanding when it's being exposed to all kind of chemicals and toxins and emissions that's not limited to, that's already coming from the other plants. And now y'all gonna build more in Killona that have even worse toxins coming through the air or the water, and now y'all is saying acid rain. This is, it's just, it's too much, you know. Our children is not gonna have the future if y'all continue with this permit, and I believe that it doesn't get passed because our children cannot be the future of anything if they're gonna be sick with lung cancer, dementia, head problems, stomach problems, other health issues. How are they gonna be our future if they're gonna be sick from being exposed to all this pollution that's gonna be up in the air? We don't need it. We really don't need it, and I'm sure that Shorell agrees with me. My cousin Mona agrees with me. There's only 2 people that's in here where I'm from that's the in Killona itself. I just learned about this meeting like 2 days ago. I didn't know about this meeting. I said, well, I'm just hopefully speak, and I'm glad that they get to speak and meet you guys, but we don't need anything. And like Mr. Lockett said earlier, when we had these natural disasters, Energy did come help us. Now the Energy did. So even if they did help us, we still would be opposed to it anyway, because we don't need it. We don't need it, we don't want it, because if this thing fails, then what? That's the answer. I'm sure that everybody in here, not just us, young, if it fails, then what we supposed to do? What our children are supposed to do. What our children are supposed to do. What our parents that still living are supposed to do if this thing fails. When it's supposed to be minimal, which this guy here saying from Energy, you're saying it's not giving it to you. That's 2 different answers. It doesn't make any sense. So our opposed to it. We don't own it. And this map that's passed out, this map is incorrect because there are 4 streets in Killona. There's streets in between, and there's people that stay back a track that is going to be closer to what y'all are building. On this map, we have 3 streets: Killona, Coast, Adams. Back in the track, there is 2 other streets that is going to be closer to where this plant 5 to 6 will be than what I am. They're much closer. And like I said earlier, I have 10 people back there. I have a great aunt. I have an aunt that stays right back there. And how we want to know if there's toxins in the air? How we want to, what y'all want to put up emergency sirens or something, or it was gas mask, or I don't know. And we supposed to have one of the best water systems in Louisiana, St. Charles Water Department. But it's all of this other emissions is going into the water and going into the air. How does our water department supposed to clean that? How are we supposed to drink that? Well, I guess it's gonna be from the air filter and the water filter we got from Miss Hillburn and all of the city of Killona. What about other people that had it got it? But like I said, it's a lot of folks think that have been cool to us and we just want to do the truth. But we are opposed to these permits. It's a lot that are not telling us. But you mean I have the education that y'all have, and you are not? We can't read between the lines. And we are opposed to these permits. We don't want it and we don't plead. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Washington. I know I already asked, did you have any you want us to the right?
Bill Ferry, Bill Nye.
Yes. Mr. Lockett, do you wish to contact the finish? You can repeat your name, right?
Shorell Lockett, walk I-4 school on Sloka. Maybe I was saying about facility be built for to supply some total all the way. That's a big issue. But the other big issue is study shows that the furniture around any facility like this is not captured for us. The study shows was Boreas and I talked to Trace and for to talk to from commercial space. It could be travel seasonal radius. But it's very weather condition. Plus some habits is low pressure, flammable gas, blue mold, and the hydrogen, chloride, HUS, traces. The H to that, small traces get killed. So that's just the head of the Sonia. And we did not agree also. And it's the air quality, the toxin emissions, the safety of us, the resource, and the regulation of plan. More information tend to it, like visit a lot faucet basis energy at Apple. I actually asked you questions about safety and different equipment and place towards it. And but to answer that question, at that time, for any faulty valve, wind faulty valves, or incorporated CO group fair that needs to explosion the gasks. So what's the plan or format for that if that happens? And like I said, the H2S dots of gas or catastrophic failure. I mean, that'd be a full-time probably done. And for each board on the events, like I said, that's like high release of greenhouse gases are fair. So both of it's good now. Salt have gardens, all that things outside. So then you touch your car. On people wounded. And we just want to be careful never release us. While to the next person or gear or family with her. Thing for as the cost of it. I mean, like I said, interest getting to be tax rate, the 50-year contract with the man, and they're guaranteed the money on that plan. Unfortunately, that's the contract made out. And like, was watching the sun and you just think about our kids' future. Over that dog. Look over more intense on a parade. Hopefully we can get a bigger beat next time because that's what she's supposed to. Like she's saying today also we all this time at the last minute we did get an information card in the mail how to say on Entergy reps been back around to talk to us. The attorney and an answer is Zato. And I see a few places in the I was at the meet. And they have also into figured that the yacht burning. We had town people, council people, they got the permit. And within the next week, they started putting material there. I guess they'll hit all off. And like I said, the partner, one person working on the job site. I bought or in the industry, construction, and we could energy and Purifier there. Said those on the people of the community, but that didn't happen for the work like that. We got ironed out it, and we reached out by the respect. So if energy's caught off or locked or connected there, I mean, who's to say what's what happened with break it there? So just open y'all the whole way. Thank you.
Ferris von Dexter. Thank you, man. Me name and actress to the records.
Hello, good afternoon to everyone. My name is Burbach Dexter, and I'm basically here on behalf of Family Resources of New Orleans. And as Ms. Washington was speaking about the air and water purifying system for the Killona residents, I am a volunteer that's helping the agency, which is located in New Orleans, Scott. They have an office right here in Woodtie. She has brands for Holly and all sorts of other things of interest. So wherever there was a brand available through Deep South and Harlem now, and she's live at the bridge. She was one of the ones that received the brand and was money for the water and purified citizen that would be given to the residents in Killona. Because for whatever reason, again, because a lot of people suffer from asthma, cancers like yellow, but it was the one in the direct to the agency of Family Resource, where was all the women feelings. Because if you empty water and literally air purifying system, the residents can select one of the two. They have been making it right and been working in the area since 5 years when the brand had taken place. So they one of the supplies that Family Resources for that office, like I said, located in UT. So we said on Sunday we have photos of the different residents who live near Killona that then had to look at the demonstration to see how the purifier system work, how the air purifier system work, and to be able to have that they have clean water. We also did a demonstration at the beginning at the Killona Community Center to make sure that, the location was available to the residents to come into the intake. And on the minimal information that they need to provide just to prove that they were to come on the resident according to the Deep South Environment who basically funded these systems. So we are still working on getting people to come in Right now, we are running to like maybe 12 water filters. And well, the air filters had to come here because the shimmer says different ones at different lines. And therefore, a whole 50 residents for the water and 50 residents for the water. The air purifier, they still have to be giving out the remaining non-suffer. So basically, I'm a citizen of the parish where the projected the pilot is going to be located on living developments, and which we do have a refinery in as well. It used to be Texaco refinery, but now it's here core, and they are expanding. So there's a lot of time even with that small connect or whatever. We have problem basically with playing record the air or something like that. And one time, 2 years or something, I think it was like a real tragedy. The smoke, and some people got killed, and they couldn't really find it because correct people on that side living faith because it was that dangerous. So I just wanted to clarify that Ms. Washington had presented in regards to the water in the air purifier system, and it's only for Killona resident. A lot of people, they're asking me my island, or it's not for like Taft, which is maybe like 2 miles or 9 miles from. The Union Cooperative of the claims or something that when I go back to the director, present their questions to her. Like she said, if only or with on the engines. So for probably show there are colored people within the area that need then for water to into water system as they supply. A lot of people have them is the water is so different from the rain water that they drink out of the tank. The air purifiers, it covers like 450 square feet of space. So definitely it can be reduced to like somewhere if the cold harm. And once the air is all freshened up with all the toxin or smoke of the air that's in our hunger, it's clear out. But the systems are very important because how you would like the people come in and meet with them, there are probably people my age that they haven't had cancer, or maybe strolls the other day. She's younger than I am, and she went to the same church I grew up, so in her family here. So, but also I'm just saying there's a lot of people that you have helped. So that's not a big deal. Everyone for your time is the 100 to me. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Would you like to submit anything into the record in a document? Would you like to submit the document into the record?
I didn't get it from her because I just heard about it yesterday, and it came to report. But I'm quite sure if you give me the information, as a fact, she had one person that worked all throughout New Orleans with all type of elevation. They serve on river type of boards and everything. But I really don't get your information on that. Thank you.
I have any more speaker registration forms. Are there any other citizens that would like to honest man? Please step forward. Name and address for the record, please. Thanks.
My name is Mary Jo Medeiros. I'm at the 315 Almond Meadows Drive, Waterford, Destrehan. I am a 25-year veteran, retired U.S. Navy. I served in Iraq 2007 to 2008. And I'm of any familiar with the PACT, P-A-C-T. It's about the burn pits and the chemicals we were exposed to when we were deployed in theater. Some of those same chemicals are the chemicals they're talking about that we had diesel generators, everything that could get disposed of in a different fashion as burned. So there's, you have chemicals, carcinogens to all different kinds of products. When I enrolled into the marine industry, EBA sent me for a CME exam. I was diagnosed with rhinitis and gastroenteritis, esophagitis, as a product of what I was exposed to.
And oddly enough, when the doctor did my CBD exam and he found out where I lived, in the river parishes, he kind of said, well, you've been exposed to it your entire life. Or at least was it 26 years you lived in the river parishes because it's the same toxins. So if the Department of Veterans Affairs recognizes those chemicals as being hazardous and carcinogenous and cause health issues, don't take it for granted these people are saying it's true. So if you want to mill this, the short-term financial gain is now with the long-term impact on the environment and the people who serve the community that are going to be working in these plants. Most people I know in this parish, you can't have more than a support with 10 people, and every other person has someone in their family or something they know who's developed cancer. A lot of people have left this parish because they don't want to be exposed to the environment anymore. But you have people who work here for a living and they can't they don't want to be driving an hour and a half in from somewhere else. So they have to live here. But you need to also take care of them and not just get the benefit of them working for you 18 hours every couple of weeks. So whenever you're bringing them in, doing a job, and then they're not taking care of them when they're not, when they're home and they're being exposed to the hollow. But, there's in the air, it's in their air. It's how do you just deal harm to people that turn coin? So you have to weigh the long term with the short term. And like I said, the Department of Veterans Affairs recognize those carcinogens and chemicals as being hazardous to our health, and when it compensate us or being exposed to it, it's not any different than what I'm breathing every day. So it is the real impacts. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you, Nick. Are there any others that wish to comment? Seeing that, I would like to remind you that the time period for a proposed Part 70 air operating permit, prevention of significant deterioration ESD permit, acid rain permit, and the associated environmental assessment statement EAS for Entergy Louisiana LLC and Waterford Advanced Power Station WATS Units 5 and 6 ends at 4:30 p.m. Friday, June 26, 2026. All comments, requests for notification of the final decision, and the transcript from the hearing are processed by the LDEQ Public Participation Group and will be made available on EDNS. Upon the issuance or denial of the proposed permits, notification is emailed to all commenters, speakers, and those who requested to be notified of your final decision. The final decision notification includes information regarding the appeal process, the basis for decision, and the response to public comments. I'll note that I have one exhibit on the record. If there are no other comments, I would like to thank you for your attention and participation in the hearing. Let the record reflect that the time is 7:03 p.m. The hearing is closed. Good night.